And welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be flying out of Seldovia, Alaska, which, if you saw the previous episode, that is, this is where we landed from Soldotna. And we're going to continue on our little adventure from Seldovia here down to the very small village of Nemwalik. It's just a few minutes away. And then we're going to go from Nemwalik into a mountain pass to Port Graham. Namwalik with the PC-12 would not be advisable in the real world, so that's why this is called a simulator, not the real world. So we can get away with certain things, and but I think it'll be fun to see how we do it. Um, and just to simply see what it's like to really utilize the features of this aircraft's uh, short field performance, meaning STOL, STOL, short takeoff and landing, and hopefully it will live up to its reputation as a short field airplane, and simply show you how to come into a very, very short field, and by your proper utilization of reverse thrust along with braking, uh, it'll just simply make you a more accurate virtual aviator, if you will. So let's quickly look around, and we'll be on our way. Just want to look at the view, because the view is just stunning. And beautiful day today in Alaska. If you watch the previous video, you'll see that it wasn't, it was nice. The flight from Soldotna down to Seldovia, that weather was not so nice. Come to find out. Icing and all that fun stuff. So, just getting the airplane ready for departure, and we'll be on our way. Let's just check a couple of things. All right. Supposed to be able to open that up. Okay, not gonna do that. Just gonna check it out real quick. Let's see here. If you're wondering what kind of livery this is one of the VIP liveries for the PC-12 NGX. And as you can see, let's look over at the windsock. As you can see, there's a little bit of wind, but that means that winds are variable, which is really good for us in this situation. So we're very lucky. We can take off in any direction we want. I think it'll be wise if we utilize the runway that off to our left, which is runway I believe that's runway 16. All right, let's. I'm not going to waste your time with doing a pre-flight walk around. We're just going to get right at it. All right. Okay, let's climb aboard. Making sure the door's shut behind us here. All right, we don't need the yoke because I have one. And for those of you that do not know how to start the PC-12, I'll show you how to do it right now. It's actually very simple, very, very simple. All right, let's zoom in for you just a little bit more. There we go. And again, I would be using the Tobii Tracker 5, but Microsoft doesn't want to It doesn't, or I should say a SOBO. It's just not on the radar for some reason. Alright, let's turn on the main batteries. We have two of them, bat 1 and battery 2. And generator 1, generator 2, we'll just put those on. We're going to be utilizing them very shortly. Avionics bus, standby bus, which is the battery, avionics, both on, and the bus die is, well, even if we wanted to, it wouldn't work. We're going to turn on nav lights, beacon lights, and our no smoking and passenger seatbelt signs are on. As you can see, the only two screens that have any power is the captain's PFD, primary flight display, our backup PFD on our left, and the multifunction display here on our right. Now, I'm going to show you how to start it, not by the book, because one of the unique things about this channel is we are very, in a lot of our videos, we want to be very respectful of your time. If we utilize the actual checklist, it's going to take a while, but we will do deep dives into these aircraft here in a later video. The statistics show that everyone seems to like the citation longitude the best so far, so we will be doing a little bit more of a deep dive on that airplane and hopefully on this one. But this is just more about the adventure of flying in the Alaskan bush, but not having to fly so far away from civilization. So that way we can do a couple landings, a couple of takeoffs, and then hop into the jet, meaning the citation longitude, and flying that airplane back to Anchorage. So let's go through a couple things. Inertial separator, we will be turning that on, and we're going to be leaving it on for the duration of these short little flights. And when I say short, I mean short. I'm talking maybe 5 minutes to each location. So, that being said, we can test the fire warning system. We should be able to. Of course, we can't see the test. We can only listen to it. That's only gonna add. That's not gonna work. The stick pusher, that isn't gonna work until the engine is up and running. The lamp test. And we can't see it either. All right, we're gonna assume that both of those work. All right. Let's come back down here real quick, and let's just look. Got windshield ice. We don't need them on high. We'll set them to light, or as the sim I guess calls it, normal. Do not require prop de-ice, probe ice, meaning the pitot heat. We'll turn that on after the engine is up and running. All right. The our navigation display here in the middle, above the MFD. Although that this will let's look at one thing here. The upper MFD, this as well as the first officer's PFD, those come alive as soon as the engine begins to start. All right. Okay, let's look up here. And what you want to do is you want to switch the engine switch itself to run, and then the button next to it. This is the starter. And now we're going to look down here at our display, watching the NG for a hung start and watching the ITT for a hot start. There's the light off. Here comes rotation. Out to the prop. looking good. And if you're wondering about navigation, how we're going to get from Seldovia, which is where we are right now, on down to Nanwalek, we're simply going to fly the shoreline on down to Nanwalek. It does not. I tried to enter that into the. And that's a good start, by the way. I tried loading it into the flight plan, and it simply doesn't work. So let me show you where it is. If you look at the aircraft in the very center of the display, if you look to the south, it's kind of like the southwest of the airplane. There's a little white dot not too far, right on the water. That is Nanwalek. All right. And we're going to be able to get out of the aircraft in Nanwalek after we turn the engine off real quick, walk around a little bit, look at the view, hop back in, and then fly just do a circular pass over Port Grand to make sure that everything is good to go. And we're going to be going into there. And that airport is the little white dot that you see inside the pass. If you look at the white dot just to the right of the one that I just said was Nanwalek. All right. But just for safety's sake, I will have 1,000 feet set in the autopilot, and we will be taking off using runway 16. I think I said 12 before my mistake. So flaps are on this runway. Flaps, because the runway is long enough. Flaps to go down to 15. POE on, and our inner separator's on, and that'll show up under ice protection in the lower MFD here. You can see it says inert sep, and we can actually lower the temperature here just a bit. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. There we go. That should work just fine. Alright, let's go over to our environmental controls. Turn on passenger oxygen just in case we would need it. Engine bleeder is on auto, and everything else we don't need to mess around. We leave the cabin pressurization system set to auto. And the other switches do not work. So we gotta do with what we have. And there we have the flap switch set to flap toggle set to 15 degrees. I don't know why it says 33%. That's not the case. And these are simply your light controls, which you really do want to utilize when it's dark out. Okay, everything in daytime. If you just want to get in and fly this aircraft, daytime flights, leaving everything in their default position is fine. All right, since we're gonna have to do a back taxi, we're gonna go ahead and turn on our lights, our runway, the lights that we would typically turn on only if we were going to be taking the runway. So that would be, we're going to turn on our strobe lights, taxi, and landing. Pulse lights, sure. That is for high visibility situations. Alright. Here we go. Alright. Brakes coming off. And we begin to roll. Well, that guy kind of came up out of nowhere, didn't he? Okay, here we go. And if we play the cards right, we should be getting into Homer, which will be our final destination, just as the sun is setting on the horizon. So that is the plan. So this episode shouldn't be any more than 30 minutes in length. Back into the flight deck here, so we can turn around. The one nice thing about the PC-12 that I like a lot is its the ability that it has to turn on a dime. So left rudder, and look at that. That is just very, very impressive. And I'm not even utilizing differential braking. That's how sharp of a turn the nose gear functions. So we're gonna hold the brakes. We're gonna run the engine up to take off power, and we're not gonna arm the auto throttle, which is right over here. We're simply going to leave it off. As I said, this is gonna be a full manual operated flight. So let's hit it all the way forward. Set takeoff thrust. There we go, and brakes off. We'll be rotating at about 80 knots. V1, rotate. There we go.
STOL.
I don't know what that was. That was weird. The airplane pitched violently up. I don't get that. Landing gear up. And bring the engine back. We do not need it to be. We don't need it to be running that fast. And like I said, we're just gonna hug the shoreline on down to Nanwalek here, enjoying the scenery as we go. And left turn here, flaps up, pulling the engine power back. There we go. Alright. If you fly it right, if you trim the airplane out, it's quite the hot rod. It really is. I know it is slow when you get it when you try to fly those missions that the sim gives you. If you've tried any of those missions, you know they'll give you a flight in this aircraft that is 500 nautical miles, and yeah, it seems like that mission is gonna take forever. But that's why we're not gonna. For now, we're just not gonna do missions that are given. We're gonna make our own missions up as we go, because we want to enjoy the scenery of it, and we want it to be more adventurous than just collecting a lot of tokens or credits, I should say. Okay, we'll go and put on the yaw damper. That'll help make it a little smoother for us. If you're ever in a plane as a passenger and you're in the back of the aircraft and toward the tail, and you begin to encounter turbulence, you are going to feel turbulence more than the passengers in the front. just because of the way flight dynamics work. Anyway, okay, and Wallach is going to come up on our left fairly soon, so we're going to begin slow down to and slow it down to roughly 100 knots because it's going to be right off the nose after I can make this turn. If you look at the upper MFD, the airplane's nose on that map is looking right at it. And if I'm not mistaken, the runway is kind of on that little peninsula. It's not a peninsula, but it's, I'm going to slow way down. Flash 15. That'll help slow us down even more. Go ahead and get the gear down. And I want to stay low. So gear's on the way. Just trying to trim this airplane out because we don't want to be flying all that fast. Get the go ahead and set flash to 30. And we can look at what the, make sure the parking brake is not on. Good, that's amazing. Landing gear went down and it didn't turn on the auto brake automatically. Let's look up, let's use this view. So there's the runway. And let's see if we can do this. Flaps 40. Okay, flaps are all the way down. Bring the engine back idle. Disengaging the odd damper. Still got a little ways to go here.
STOL. STOL. STOL.
A little bouncy. Alright, it wasn't supposed to be that bouncy, but it was. And that was because your humble pilot here was trying to avoid hitting a tree. So like I said, that's why this is a simulator. A simulator, not the real world, nor would we ever want to, in this video, simulate what we would do in the real world. So let's check this place out. We can go for a short walk real quick. Look at that little building up there. And the one nice thing about doing these flights, it really, if you follow along with me, with your sim, it over time it does make you a better sim aviator because it just makes you look at things a little differently. Okay, parking brake set, and inertial separator. We can actually close the probe, pitot heat off, oxygen off, in case we need it, just in case. You can see how much trim I was using if you look over here on the right, on the lower MFD. The airplane that is in red, I was using that much trim just to keep the nose up on that approach. As for shutting down the engine and the lights and everything, it's very, very simple. Because the fuel pumps are always in auto. So it's going to turn off the strobes, the landing lights, and the pulse recog lights off. And that comes off. And to turn the engine off, you don't have to mess around with a fuel switch, pumps, or condition levers. It's just moving this switch, run to off. And there we have it. Could I have done that landing better? I could have, yes, so my apologies on that. Alright, we don't want the battery to run out while we're out having a little bit of fun checking things out real quick. Beacon and nav lights, those are off. And avionics switches, those come off. Standby buses are off. Generator switches off. And the other thing about doing flights like this, if you do them enough, they make you very proficient in the aircraft itself. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and get out of the airplane real quick. Take a quick little look around Nanwalek. Oops, not that close. All right. And we could also, you know what? Let's just take a quick little tour of the airplane. This is the, like, if I didn't mention it before, this is the VIP version of the PC-12. And the door is actually right here. You lift this cover open, and that's how the door opens. Now, obviously, in real life, the door doesn't open that fast, nor does it close that fast. But why you don't want that on? And you can see everybody has USB chargers and all that good stuff. Alright, let's get outside real quick. There we go. There we go. Welcome to Nanwalek. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Let's just look around real quick. There's like a bench over there that we can look at things. There's a fishing trawler over there, fishing boat. And as you can see, this is the type of airport where it's one way in and one way out. We're definitely not going to be taking off in the same direction that we landed in, obviously. We'll be taking off facing that direction. And anyway, yeah, look at that. Beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Alright. Let's get out of here and fly over to Port Graham. Beautiful place. And let's go ahead and get back up here. Alright. Same sequence as before, so battery, avionics buses, and get the avionics up and running here. Generators, they go on. Avionics bus is on. Standby bus, avionics bus, the second one, goes on. Nav, beacon, and the seatbelt sign. Run. Make sure everything is good to go. Just double check everything before we do this. And it is. Alright. Let's start. There's rotation inside on the N2. Watching the NG for a hung start. And the ITT for a hot start. Let's see what it temps out at. Again, this episode is more about how to have fun in the sim versus real world operations. If I'm simulating real world operations, as you know, if you see my other episodes and the ones to come, I will tell you this is how we do it in the real world, and I'll make a very, very powerful disclaimer about that. Okay, good engine start. Let's come back up, turn on the lights that need to be turned on, strobes, taxi, landing lights, and we'll turn on the pulse and recognition lights. Everybody's on that needs to be on. And we're gonna be calculating something here on our program. And again, this will be the exact same type of flight as before. We're simply going to let's turn on probes and the inertial separator. And oxygen, just in case. That's just a good practice to get into turning on the oxygen. That way, whenever you fly it, you never forget it. Just a good way to do it. Our flaps, in case you're curious, flaps are not going to be 15, they're going to be 30. Because we need all the lift we can possibly get. There's 30 on the flaps, very good. And we're going to leave our trim, going to push it down a bit. And we're going to see what happens here. Should be able to get in, should be able to get out of here. A little tricky on the rotation part of it. Hopefully it won't do the opposite of a fish tail. It hopefully won't pitch up like it did before. Brakes off. Just turn brakes. Yeah, brakes off. Yeah, I give the engine a little bit of thrust. It's on this gravel. It needs a little help getting over the gravel. There we go. And we want to avoid the lovely terminal building here at Nanwalek. And again, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I do know people up in Alaska, so if I'm mispronouncing that, do let me know in the comments section below. All right, let's go over and get lined up on the runway. And obviously, since this is gravel, number one, you would not see the streaks of rubber. And they have multiplied. That's interesting. Now, if you think that this was a dicey landing, what's interesting is going into Fort Graham, it's actually the setting of the approach is actually a little trickier. The one thing that the sim got wrong is the tree line, just like in this at this airport as well. There's no way that they would have trees that close to the apron of the runway. That just simply would not happen. All right, let's run the engine all the way up. So my feet are on the brakes, on the pedals, all the way up. Waiting for a torque to get up there. And brake release. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Rotate right about here. All the way.
STOL.
No. There's no stalling of any kind. Okay, gear up,
Gear.
flaps up. We want to gain speed. There's Mount Iliamna in the distance and Mount Redoubt. They're both volcanoes. Alright. Now we're going to bring that engine lever back. Now that we're out of the terrain, I should say the higher terrain area. And for some odd reason, the flaps never went up. There we go. Flaps up. And now we can pull back. Beautiful volcanoes in the distance there. Alright, as we continue the right turn, we're coming into Port Graham, and I'll show you the runway from the outside view here. Let me get my bearings here in the flight deck, and then we'll hop back outside so you can see the view. Bring that engine back even more. And we're gonna go in for a low pass. Kind of basically a low downwind pass of the runway. And as you're gonna see, it actually is a paved runway. Not even gravel. It is a concrete run. I'm sorry, a asphalt runway. All right. As we come in, you may be saying, "Boy, he's flying it very, very slow," and you would be absolutely correct. On purpose. On purpose. Because of the length of the runway, and the glide path going into the runway. That would be the other reason. Slow it up a little bit. Trim it so we can get a flaps 15 just to help us keep it nice and slow. And so we can fly slower. Always remember, flaps are designed to help you fly slower in cases like this as well. Alright, there it is. So that's going to be our target. And what we're going to do, let's look here real quick. Alright, there's a saying in Alaska, behind every cloud there is a rock, meaning mountains. So let's look at, alright, I see exactly where we need to touch down. And with the tree line actually makes it more difficult. Well, it makes it more difficult regardless of what airplane you're in. Gear down as well. Make sure that the parking brake doesn't come on. Good. Look at that view. Look at that view. Absolutely spectacular. There we go. Look at that view. Just absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Wow. Alright. Let's go in. We're going to come in nice and slow. We're going to slow it to below 100 knots, indicated airspeed. And this is where your hand-to-eye coordination does need to be good. It doesn't. It's the stall warning on this airplane is a little sensitive. So we're gonna do a different angle here. Why do I know that? Because I did this last night. To see how how easy of a how easy and or how not easy it would be to get in there. And it is tricky. I'm not gonna say that it isn't, but like I said, the reason it's tricky is because there are trees where the sim has put the trees, and in real life, I guarantee you the trees are not there. You can see what I mean here in about 5 seconds. Those trees right there. You can see where they mowed the grass down, but those trees would not be there. I mean, that's just ridiculous. So let's see if we can get in. Let's drop it in right over where the tree drops. Okay, drop it in, and land. It's not supposed to bounce like that. Don't know why it did, but it did. Full reverse. Like I said in my previous episode, the sim has a long way to go with regard to um, the flight dynamics as to how the airplane interacts with the air in general. It has a very, very long way to go. And if you hop on the forums, if you're into that, you can read the official forum of Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. And that is probably one of the biggest complaints is that they being Microsoft and Asobo, they have not fixed the flight dynamic situation whatsoever. So eh, should we get out and walk around? Or just go back up? Let's see here. Let me reposition the aircraft in a way that we can actually see if there's anything to really get out and look at or not. Let's just turn it here. Hmm. Let's look around. I mean, it's a beautiful view. I mean, you're not gonna get any. It isn't gonna be any more beautiful if we get out to walk around because we do have to watch the sunset here because our next destination is Homer, and no, I don't think we'll get out and walk around. We'll just utilize the drone camera. Beautiful backdrop. That would make a beautiful photograph. All right, let's get back in. Now this time we're actually going to set up. We're going to program the flight computer. So if you haven't seen me do it on this aircraft, the Honeywell avionics suite, um, then here we go. All right, we're going to go to flight. I cannot read that. Let's dial that intensity down where we want the MFD brightness. Try it at 50. Does that make it look a little? That's a little better. Let's dial it down just a little more. Is that better? Oops, sorry about that. Much better. Now we can actually read what we're doing. Let's tune them all down a bit. There we go. There we go. Much, much better. Alright. What you want to do, let's zoom in. And yeah, we're going to leave the flaps to 30. Go to flight plan. And in this case, this airport program is not in the database of Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. Should be, but it isn't. So what is Homer. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna set a destination, Homer. We what I did is I just touched that box that is DEST, which is destination. That should bring up a keyboard. It's supposed to upper MFD. See if it does it that way. Let's try this again. No. Huh. That's what it's supposed to do. Upper MFD. That's what we want. This is one of the reasons we don't like the PC-24. It does not want to do anything, does it? Okay. This is supposed to turn into a keyboard so we can type on it. Let's just do a direct to, and it isn't doing that either. Oh, I see. My mistake. My mistake. Here we go. Origin. No, we're gonna do. It wants a destination of PAHO. Now this will turn into a keyboard. Not the way I wanted to do it, but it'll work. It'll have to work. PA Papa Alpha Hotel Oscar. Enter. And we're going to insert that. Now, what we're going to do is, I know it says PASO, which is Seldovia, and we're obviously not in Seldovia. So what we're going to do is, we're going to do this. We're going to click on Homer, PAHO, and we get a drop-down menu of things to choose from. And what we're going to do, we are going to click on departure arrival, or just do a direct to. We'll do direct to that airport, and we're going to activate it. And as you can see over here, let me get that dialed down, the light intensity dialed down. That's just a little too much. You can see that FMS is selected as the navigation source. PAHO, that is the destination. And it is 20.7 nautical miles from our current position. And the heading relative to where we are facing at the moment is 017 degrees, which is north-northeast. And since we're going to go into an airport such as Homer, we're going to turn on our standby, our transponder, and oh, that's right. This is all set. The transponder is an automated ALT. We want the code to be set though. Code to. We really want the code to be 1200, not 7000. Oh, that doesn't work real good, does it? 1. And as you can see, this is why a lot of people don't like it. They should give us this is a pain in the neck. Okay, here we go. What I was saying, what I was complaining about was this is a pain in the neck is what I was saying. There we go. 1200. There we almost there. Got it. All right. Very good. Autopilot. Why not? Let's climb up to 2,000 feet. We're gonna swing out over the Cook Inlet and fly into Homer that way. 2,000 feet, no more than that. And let's just remind ourselves of the runway situation. We're not going to taking off that direction. We will be taking off the same direction by which we landed. Yeah, and it's getting dark enough already out there, so all our lights are on. Wing lights, turn that on. And yeah, that should work. That should also work just fine. Alright. And we're gonna adjust our trim. Looking on that lower MFD there, you see the red airplane pointing up. We're not gonna take it down any more than that, but because we're definitely gonna need it. Take it down to, there we go, just a little bit. There we go. That'll work. Alright, let's utilize this view so we can see a little better. Take the brakes off. Parking brakes is. And make one last decision. That does have a hill, and that does not, but all those trees are there. Yeah, flaps 30. Okay, I think that's a good decision. Alright, like I said, again, this is a sim, and the overarching goal of this episode is to have fun. Not to tell you exactly what individual switch to click on in order for the aircraft to handle and behave correctly, function correctly, even though I've done that. This is just more of what you can do. Having a fun little adventure on your own or with friends once they get the multiplayer up and running. As you can see, the airport lights, runway lights just turned on. That is a nice feature. We're gonna go ahead and activate our flight director. Alright. And do a little U-turn right here. Alright, let's line her up nice and there we go. And we're gonna hold the brakes with the pedals and all the way forward with the throttle. Because we're gonna need it. And there it is. Engine is fully stabilized. Brakes off. There's 40. There's 50. 60. 70. And there's 80. And pull back. Get out of here.
STOL.
There we go. Positive rate. Gear up. Gears on the way. Make sure that the parking brake did not automatically turn on. And it did. And that isn't that lovely? A Sobo, we do not thank you for that. Okay, flaps 15. We'll activate another direct 2 point as soon as we get clear of these mountains. There's a view. There's the Chamber of Commerce photograph right there. This airplane wants to go, that's obvious. I'll make a nice turn to the right. And let's, there we go. Look at that view. It doesn't get any better than that. Look at that view. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Alright, Homer. I can, since I've been there a couple of times in real life, I can almost see from here in my mind's eye just because I know the lay of the land. Again, that is ahead there, that is Mount Iliamna and Mount Redoubt. A very volcanic area over there. All right, now that we're out of the terrain, let's look back at where we were. Look at that. That's where we were. Okay, I'm gonna come back on the throttle. I can just tell it's gonna accelerate even more. So 4,000 feet already, and distance to Homer is 18. 4,000 feet, I'll take that. Let's just reset the autopilot. 4,000 feet, and we'll do autopilot is on. Whoops,
Autopilot.
my mistake. And we're gonna go ahead and tell it to go direct
Speed.
because of the flaps. Oh,
Speed.
I thought the flaps were retracted all the way. I told it to retract the flaps all the way. On my key binding on my center console here from SciTech. Alright, let's tell it to go direct to Homer. Let's look here. Let's do a where we got here. Now that I turn the intensity down a bit, I'll just do it that way. From our present position, activate that. And nav is on. And now we're flying direct. And for some reason it does want to hold the altitude that I set for it on. Alright. Looking good. Let's see if we can get a landing here. Get a runway lined up. We're gonna be. I can see the runway already, even though we're. Let's go ahead and descend now. 1,000 feet. That'll work. Let's just go ahead and do it. And we're gonna bring the power back. Yeah, I could be using the auto throttle, but for these short flights, it's really not necessary. We're gonna line up our current heading on the autopilot with the direction we're going in. When I begin to go into the bigger aircraft, even the 747-8, you'll see me do that every time we make a turn. Alright, let's see if I can bring up the actual runway that we want. Not that it's important, but runway, let's see here. That would be runway 04. Runway 04. Oh, that's a localizer. Alright, we'll take that. And we'll just do vectors. And we should be able to insert that and activate it right now. Turn on our heading mode, and we should be able to let's see here. Vectors intercept, And now we're leveling off at 1,000 feet. Power is coming up. When we don't want to go that fast, 151. Yeah, we need to go a little slower than that. And I can actually already see the Vazzy lights on the runway. If you look close, you'll be able to see them as well. Alright, we're going to turn left. Now that we've got the, and just one moment, we need to get the NAS source should be automatically plugged in since we selected it, and it's not going to do that. Alright, we'll just do a visual. We'll just do the visual, that's fine. Let's see here again here. 04. Let's see here, delete 04. Did we try this one more time? Let's do an RNAV. Let's see what the RNAV looks like. Vectors. Let's see what the RNAV looks like. Not much difference. I don't think there's any difference. Let's slow it down even more. Flaps 15, please. And let's go ahead and take the yaw damper and autopilot off.
Autopilot.
Okay. Landing gear down. Flaps 30, please. Let's just double check that the brake didn't come on. Parking brakes, they did come on. Yeah, they only come on when you're not looking. If you're looking at them while you lower the gear, the parking brake does not come on. Isn't that interesting? Okay, full flaps 40, please. Thank you. Alright. Coming in. Alright. Alright, looking good. Looking very good. Alright. Let's slow it down here. We've already tested out how slow the airplane can be flying for an approach. But since we have a proper runway here, now there's a vehicle on there that should not be there. We're just gonna let it glide down to a nice gentle touchdown. We'll just let the airplane settle itself, ride the ground effect. There we go. Reverse thrust. Alright, a little bit. Just a little bit, not much. Not much. Not much. Okay, coming out of beta, and or aka reverse. Bring the flaps all the way up. Alright. And let's, once we get to a parking spot, let's switch over to the airplane that apparently everybody likes the most so far, and that's the citation longitude based on the statistics that I get from YouTube and analytics. It's saying everybody likes the citation longitude, so I can't blame you. It's a wonderful aircraft to fly. And as I did say at the onset of the founding of this channel, uh, with regard to a jet, it's the most stable and most functional aircraft, in my opinion, in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. Let's see where we're gonna be parking real quick. Let's park. Let's look outside here real quick. Let's go. Where should we go here? I know what we'll do. Park right over here on our left side. Make a nice wide turn. Even though the airplane turns on a dime, we want to be lined up. Unfortunately, when we switch aircraft over to the longitude, um, alright. Now this time we're going to shut everything down by the book. And the separator's off, probe off, oxygen off, auto is fine, that is off. Everything else is on the overhead. Well, we can turn on the flight director. Everything else up here, wing lights, strobes, taxi, landing lights, off, signal signs off, auto on the fuel pumps, and avionics. Let's wait for the prop to stop. And by the way, if you want to know, at the end of every flight there on the upper MFD, it gives you a flight summary. The next time I fly this aircraft, I'll do a deep dive for you, for those of you that want to really understand how to operate this aircraft. Caution canceled. Alright. Let's just do a quick beacon light is off, not required. Nav light not required. Avionics bus 1 and 2 off. Standby bus and generator off. And batteries off. Non-smoking, turn that off. Everything goes in the off position. And everything is off. Alright. Let's exit the aircraft here. Take a quick look at what things look like here in Homer from the ground. Might as well utilize the technology given. It really is a beautiful town to visit, those of you that ever go to Alaska. And can't really see much in Homer, you're so low, but if you go over to the spit, like I mentioned the previous video, I tell you where to go in real life to go check it out. Nice paint job, by the way. Okay, let's see if we can get a good, nice, simple switch on the airplane here. And we're just gonna hop over to the citation. Hopefully it doesn't give us that big of a headache. Citation launch, that is. Configure. Make sure we got enough fuel. And let's just manage that fuel. Let's just add it up to about that. And let's say we've got passengers are it's a full flight. Cargo, let's say we just came back with we were out fishing. And let's see what that does to the CG. Okay, we're good. Very good. Let's save, go back, and go back. And I believe we were parked right there, but let's go here. Actually, let's go here. We want a place where we don't have to depend on a tug. That's just not fun. Okay, let's do that. Alright, here we go. Let's see. There's a tug. Tug right when you need one. Alright, let's get rid of the feeder covers here. And let's walk around, get rid of the engine covers. Also doing a pre-flight walk around as I do it. Looks like a good machine to me. No squawks. Let's examine the flaps here. Good. Aileron here. Good. And everything else would be good as well, but for the sake of time, let's get in the flight deck and power this thing up. Alright, get on board. Alright, here we are back in the saddle again. Alright, let's do this. If you remember how to power on the airplane, both batteries go on. And standby power goes in the on position. Garmin, everybody is going to be aligning themselves. Parking brake set. And let's turn on the passenger seatbelts and the passenger safety switch. Emergency lights go into the arm position. And still loading. Okay. And we don't want to drain the batteries while we do all this, so APU goes on. Alright. Alright, so the first thing we do, I'll walk you through the whole setup here. Let's see what runway we're going to use. Thinking ahead, as always. Alright, we're going to do operating weight, 700 pound, crew and storage, that's good. Payload, 8 passengers, correct. Cargo, what is cargo, by the way? Cargo is set to 1,000 pounds.
TAWS system test, okay.
Good to know. Terrain awareness is working. 1,000. The only reason I hesitate, it might not like the math, the arithmetic. Fuel, FOB sync. And that is correct. Landing Well, we're not ready for that yet, are we? Next, origin. Alright, we're at Homer, which is Papa, Alpha, Hotel, Oscar, enter, destination, Anchorage, which is Papa, Alpha, November, Charlie. There we go. And we're going to be utilizing runway, let's see, where is it here? Procedure, departure, runway. Oh, wow, they don't have any runways for us here. Interesting. Isn't that interesting? Oh, there we go. Got it. Okay. Gotta do it that way. Alright, that's fine. When I said, just a quick note, it caught me off guard there just for a second because I have not flown this aircraft in a while. Departure, the reason why that is darkened out as this transition is because Homer doesn't have a SID, a standard instrument departure. Therefore, that's going to be blacked out like that, and therefore there's no transition coming out of that departure, so that's all off. So the only thing it has in the database are the two runways, 04 and 22, and we're going to take 04. Alright, so check that off. Flight plan is initiated. We'll enter in the runway up in Anchorage, for Anchorage once we get in the air. Takeoff data, let's go through this. Runway, we already know it's going to be runway 04. Weather is technically perfect. This is saying weather is 046 at 5. Use outside temperature, that's fine. METAR should be clear. And that's pulling weather from probably a different time. Because it says snowing. I don't see any snow. Okay. And I know that the barometric pressure is 29.92 because I checked it before coming online here. Runway is 04. Check. Everybody's good. Runway grading 0.06% up. Takeoff. Flaps. Let's go 2, just because we are heavier, and that runway is only just over 6,000 feet. Takeoff data, and now remember, even though you click on accept takeoff speeds, they do not show up on your PFD speed tape over here on the left. It doesn't show up until the flaps are set. So go ahead and set flaps to 2. We can actually do that because the flaps are electrically actuated. So let's go to 2 and watch what happens. Now it's populated. So we got 118 for V1. Rotate is 122. V2 is 132. Flap, retract speed, make sure flaps are all the way up, 185. V2, that is our safety speed. So that means that in this case, 132 knots. That is the speed at which it is safe, the minimum speed as to which it is safe to maneuver the aircraft in the air. Okay. Alright, and we are good with everything. Everything's good on this side. Let's, on this side, let's go through the checklist. This is what I did not show you before. I have shown you this before, but I'm just simply showing you Everything looks good. Parking brake and stabilizer trim, we can go ahead and set that right now. It wants 3 units, just about every single time. The checklist is coming up. Checklist is right over here. Let me do a summary. That's supposed to bring up the checklist. Okay, flight controls, we'll do that in just a moment. Go back real quick. Oh, sorry, there we go. Okay, so cockpit prep. We have done that. Now, how do we use it? How do you utilize the checklist? Use this little knob right here. The way this works is you take the mouse, hover over this, and use the right button to check off things on the list, alright? So, see that? Pre-flight, I did that, check. APU is on. Exterior power is good. Engine, dry motor, consider it. Okay. No. So, on to the next. ATIS, we got that already. I told you what the winds were. We looked at that as along with the runway in use and the barometric pressure. Cockpit control checks that autopilot is obviously disengaged. Trims 3, as you can see, 3. If you look left over here, it is 3. Okay. Initialization complete. V speeds are set. Pressurization, that is set, and it is automated. And fuel quality and balance, check. Next checklist with a question mark there at the end, yeah. And this is the before start. Parking brake, we know that's set already. Wheel chocks are removed. Door is closed. Passenger briefing, let's say we already did that. Cabin divider is secured and open if they have one installed. We do not have one installed. Okay. Seats adjusted. Yep. Seatbelt signs. Engine instrument and crew alert system. Check. Checklist finished. All right. This is actually very, very good. I said this before, but I'll say in a previous episode. Do not attempt an engine start with a tailwind component greater than 60 knots. What does that mean? Let's go over that real quick. This is crucial that you understand what that really means. You don't want and they're gonna what they're doing is they're giving you a buffer of 16 knots, meaning if it's up to 16, don't do it. I'm telling you, never do it. Never ever do it. What that is when the engine begins to start and fuel is introduced into the combustion chamber of the engine, what happens is that hot air is not coming out the back end like a cone, if you will, because it's just beginning to spool up. But it's still very, very hot. What will happen is, especially if in this case, tailwind is greater than 16 knots, it'll blow the hot air right back into the tailpipe of the engine, so to speak. And then you have a hot start, and now you potentially damage the engine. Flight is now delayed and or canceled, and the maintenance has to come out, check out the engines, possibly take it into the hangar, and do a complete maintenance workup, bore scope, etc. Big pain in the neck, right? So, what is our rule of thumb here for Fly Adventures? The big rule of thumb is always, regardless of regardless of the wind, the speed, regardless, always tell the tug driver, point the nose of the jet into the wind. That goes for any airplane, in my opinion. Turboprop, jet, just point the nose into the wind. That's what you do. Do it every time. Do it every time. Okay? You'll thank me later. Trust me. Okay, now we got that little lesson out of the way. Main ITT below the start limit. Engine ITT should be less than or equal to 450 prior to start initiation. Alright, throttles are idle. Yes. Engine run. Okay, it's basically telling you what to do. Alright, so we know what to do with that. And we're gonna do abort if, okay, yeah, we know this already. We really do. And then we're just gonna do the same thing with the ops engine. That's before taxi, so let's just go ahead and get the engines up and running. And remember, the navigation lights and the beacon lights, those are automatically handled by the Garmin G5000. So that's just something you don't have to worry about. It's already taken care of. I believe that is in my first or second video. If you look at the episodes here, you'll see it. So let's do the right engine first. Open up the cover. Push it into run. Hold the start engine for 1 second, or as I say, hold it until it turns barber pole, little white and black lines right there. And now we get a good start. We're going to monitor the engine instrument, EIS. And there's a light off right there. And let's see what it temps out at. There's 429. So it's out. It temps out at 429. All right. And everybody is stable. Very good. Okay, we can close that little, close the cover. Open this cover. Switch to run. We have to close it so we can click on the start button. 1000. Good. And watching the left engine. There's the light off. Let's see where the ITT is going to go with it. Where is it going to temp out at? Same as the right. 430. Okay, 1 degree above the right engine. And that is a good start. Alright. Back to the checklist. Cockpit speakers, everything's fine. Nose wheel steering, meaning that's in case we were pushed back with a tug. They would want to make sure that they would have disconnected the tug properly. Speed brakes, check retracted, which they are. Flaps, they are set for takeoff. Flight instruments, check. Altitude heading, air data displays, everything looks good, and we do not have any flags. Altimeters are all good, and they've been compared. 2992 on my side, 29.92 on the FO side, and 29.92 on the standby flight display. Ice protection as required. Why is it required? Let me just explain real quick. As required, what that means is everything is automatic on this jet. As soon as we begin a taxi, it actually initializes the automated ice protection system, so there's no need for me to turn on the engine anti-ice system, in this case the wing and stabilizer anti-ice. Those things would come on automatically if we were to do that. Okay. If, in other words, if the aircraft needed it, the aircraft would automatically turn that on. All right, done with that. Exterior lights for taxi as required. Since we're going to be taking the active real quick, we're going to turn on not just the taxi lights, but the landing lights, as well as the recognition lights. There's our anti-collision lights, and the wing lights as well. Make it nice and bright so everybody can see us. What is next? Here we got emergency parking brake. That'll be STOL here in a second here. Brakes, check. No, we'll obviously check that. Thrust reverser. Alright, it does want us to just verify that it works. We're going to do it on the taxi out. Oh, we need to do a altitude selection here. Let's go. I did look up a flight plan that happened in the real world not too long ago, and they used the SOP 2000. And according to Flight Aware, they went all the way up to 17,000 feet, which in my mind, that is a bit high because the distance between the two, by the way, we're going to be utilizing, well, I'll show you that later, but let's go with, let's just go with 11,000 feet. You'll thank me later. 17,000 is just too much really, to be honest with you. Let's go to 11. It'll get us above 10,000, and we'll be able to fly above 250 knots. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and begin taxiing. So parking brake off. And we're going to test the thrust reversers as we get out of here. So let's up the huh. Why are we not moving? That's not good. Not good at all. Do we have chocks on the airplane that I didn't see? Huh. I wonder if we were to be pushed off the tug, what would happen? Let's see if they're able to push us here. Let's see if they can push us. Huh. I don't know why that is. We're not moving one bit. And it looks like they're not pushing us either. Well, everybody, I don't know what to tell you. This is obviously a big glitch on their side. Huh. Well, that is very bizarre. We cannot move. Um, that's a shame. Here's what I'm gonna do. Uh, we're gonna stop this episode right now, and I want to promise you that I already promised everybody that's watching that I would be flying this aircraft up to Anchorage because this is the aircraft that everybody likes. Um, so let's end this episode now, and I'm gonna upload a this flight Homer up to Anchorage uh, in the next episode, which is gonna come out. It should be published on YouTube. For you, you should see it immediately. So let's just end it now. And again, like I said, we will be back shortly. And my apologies for this glitch made by Microsoft and/or Asobo. So if you don't have time to watch the next one, you can watch it a little later. If you're gonna stay with me, great. But for those of you that have to jump off and do something else, thank you very much for watching. Hit that subscribe button and leave your comments in the comment section below. I read. I will promise to always read every single one of them. And again, thank you, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Fly safe.